5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
94. Welcome back to what is going to be maybe the world's quietest podcast. Didn't get any complaints or anything. It's just that before, I had maybe prior knowledge that when I was doing this, I was alone, let's just say. And now let's just say those circumstances have since changed. And this now all fully feels very awkward. Yeah. Let's say that. 94, 6 days. Very quiet one today. Very quiet one. But if I could, and if I was allowed to, I'd hit that alarm because we have a code, Jonathon Majors. Major problem. Jonathon Majors. It's inevitable. Okay? You can't have a bit of success without a bit of, assault to go along with it. And old Jonathon Major's been slapped with a major charge or whatever it is. I'm not sure how law works. And just when you was like your very highest, you're in the big budget superhero movies, you're in the real crowd pleasing boxing movie, you're in the Oscar bait movies. You've got people making memes of you. Oscars, he was becoming a very popular meme. And now it's looking like that meme's about to get a very different meaning. Or they're going to use it very differently. I think he got charged with like strangling someone, which is so like prehistoric, man. Now, if this is, I didn't read what the actual charges were. If it was strangling in like a sexual sense, to get a bit too far, that at least I could. By the way, this is all jokes. By the way, I don't know the details of what John Majors has done. In that sense, at least I'd be like, okay, I understand the charge here. If it was just strangling in the sense that, like, he was having a domestic and he strangled someone, very prehistoric. Strangling still, just feels very out of date. Jonathon Majors charged with, carrying a bow and arrow. Jonathon Majors charged with, it's like, do people still poison people? At some point they stopped doing it. It feels like a very efficient way to probably kill someone, but it feels like at some point we just stopped doing that as a people. But Jonathon Majors, he's a fan of the old school ways. And I didn't actually see. I could have actually checked. It was trending on Twitter. I could have actually clicked it and Here's the thing about Twitter though. You'll get a sense of what someone's done or if someone's done something wrong, but that's about it. If I clicked on Jonathon Majors' name, it would just be a bunch of memes about Jonathon Majors being cancelled. It wouldn't actually tell me what's happened. I'd have to do like a Google search and do it the old-fashioned way. Well, the old-fashioned way would be sort of reading a newspaper or just, I don't know. But, so I don't really know what he's got up to. But apparently not very good. Sorry, Jonathon. Although, is this going to change his life? No. I saw a tweet the other day like, if you could only get rid of one of these people and their entire catalogue of music, which person would you choose? And it was like Beyonce, who was the other? It was like Beyonce, let's say like, who is someone in a similar ilk to Beyonce? It was like Beyonce, let's just say, I'm just going to make them up because I don't know. Let's say it was like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Adele, and Chris Brown. Is this a troll? Is what I mean. Like, Jonathon Majors strangled someone, apparently. Maybe it was worse, I'm not sure. He didn't strangle them to death. I know that. Or else I would have said murdered. Probably would have cut out the strangling bit. Save that for the small print. But, yeah, if you can... Here's the thing, right? Maybe one of the other people in that 4x was Rihanna. Here's the thing. Everybody loves Rihanna. Rihanna can do no wrong. Men, women, children, they love Rihanna, right? Drake. If you can, like, severely, brutally mash up the face of one of the globe's, like, most beloved people, and then still be put into a 4-person category of people whose music, and not even just their music, it said which person and music catalog could you just not lose, then you can get away with anything. Because people still love Chris Brown. They still love going to see his shows where he dances. He still dances like he's dancing at like a Pontins. You know, Pontins, Butlins, a bit more mainstream than Pontins. You know, like a sort of family resort place for the caravans. They put on the little shows at nighttime, Benidorm vibes. He's still sort of popping and locking like it's 2013, and people love it. And people love going to his shows and stuff. And apparently he still makes music and great albums. I've not heard a Chris Brown song in like 10 years. I don't know why I'm coming for Chris Brown. He would probably beat the shit out of me. He has history of it, but you can get away with doing pretty much anything. So I'm sure Jonathon Majors and knows. I mean, if you can get up on stage and slap the presenter and then receive your Oscar, aka Will Smith, I'm pretty sure you can get away with alleged strangling charges, which at the moment are still alleged, I guess, allegedly. There's no video evidence yet, but hey, that's what happens. You get a bit big for your boots. Make plans, God laughs. God loves that shit. I'm not even that religious, but that's how the phrase goes. It's just like, and here's the thing, it's weird. And obviously what's really happening is, actually no, because this isn't like someone finding an old tweet. This is just like bad timing. This type of stuff never happens when it's like, oh, my movie that got 4% on Rotten Tomatoes just came out. Oh, and then here's my allegations to surfacing. Well, at least it's all at the same time, get out of the way. It's never like that. It's like, oh, here's my 99% Rotten Tomatoes movie. And here's my more good news. And then you get the, oh, well, that, it's never the other way around. It's never the other way around. Oh, what have we done this year? Oh, nothing. I just made a couple movies straight to DVD, and then you get the news on top. It's always you're at your peak of your powers, and then boom, back down to earth. And that's why you got to give credit to the Paul Rodds of this world. How did they do it? One of the least problematic people ever. It's just like, how? Not ever stepped a foot out of line. Even some people who are like really loved, they have the little moments. I mean, like, they'll have little interviews here and there where maybe they looked bad, or they didn't even do anything bad, but maybe they came across slightly rude, or like they had this thing leak here in the past, but everyone's just forgot about it now. Everyone has a little something. You've never seen Paul Rudd's Todger. You've never seen him be slightly rude in an interview. He's got no allegations, no charges. No, he's just been out here making movies, having a good time, man. Having a good time. And he's been surrounded by like the top comedians. He's one of them. In terms of like, I don't know, does Paul Rudd do stand up? In terms of like acting out comedy stuff anyway. So he's been around like the Will Ferrells and whoever else is of the world. He's probably been in some insane scenarios. But he's just never got himself into that shit. That being said, is he just a slimy bastard? Is he just sort of, oh, he's good at getting away with it. He's good at running from the scene of the crime. That's also an option, but I also can commend that. I could also commend that. Paul Rudd, what a man. And also, I mean, he's definitely drinking blood, so that's not ideal because he looks young. But again, he's getting away with it. So all I can only doff my cap to him and say fair play, sir, fair play. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about I'm a Shia LaBeouf fan in terms of him as an actor. He's done some fucked up shit. So I'm not saying like I'm like going at, well, I'm not going at Chris Brown. I'm sort of making fun of the Chris Brown situation when there's like Shia LaBeouf whose movies I still watch and that. So realistically, the Chris Brown, like if Chris Brown was doing something I liked, I'd probably, I don't know. It's when there's evidence for something and it's like in your face, it's harder to ignore. You know what I mean? When it's like right there. Oh, England are scoring goals. International break's still going on. It's shit, man. It's so shit. So fucking shit. I just don't know why we got to keep up with this. And I used to like international break when you're younger because you kind of just merge in. Oh, it's a tournament. Oh, it's international break. I just want to see England play when you're a kid. But then you realise it's only good when it's the Euros or the World Cup, and that's when the real enjoyment is. That's when you actually care. God, I mean, thank God there's barely friendlies anymore. It used to be so many friendlies and shit. I remember watching like England versus Brazil and caring that we won. It was like, wow, wow. It's like, it's a friendly, mate. It's the most, like, pre-season, but in the middle of the season when you're trying to be watching Premier League stuff. Let's just take a break and then do these pre-season games. This is at least, like, qualifying for tournaments and stuff. But that being said, I think and here's the thing, we just beat Italy fairly easily. Like the other day, went down to 10 men, but we still got the job done. 2-1, I think it was. In a tournament though, we just never do that. And I know we've had in recent history, the last two tournaments we've done better. Germany, we've taken down. Who did we beat? Oh, we didn't really beat anyone good in the World Cup. We lost to France. But the one before that, we got Germany on our belt. We beat Croatia in the group stage, but it just feels like so many times when it matters, like Croatia in the semi-final, Italy in the final, just multiple times before that when we were even more shit. We just don't win them then. But when it's like these qualifiers, like I'm very confident. The day we don't qualify for a tournament, though, I probably wouldn't feel despair like that. And I'm talking like, because a part of me, if we lose a cup, like a final with Chelsea, it's like, this is so disappointing. This might not happen again. But at least there's the hope that it could happen next year. Like, if we lost that Champions League final to City, you're like, it took us 10 years to get back to another one or whatever. It might take another 10, it might never happen. You know what I mean? But there's the hope. It's like, we're going to be in the tournament next year. At least there's the hope it might even happen next year, right? The World Cup, it's like, that's 4 years. When you miss it, it's like, well, there's no hope. It's just not happening. So if we didn't qualify, but here's the thing: I'm never scared we're not going to qualify. There's no good teams apart from Italy in our group, and we just beat Italy. So we're beating. I think we're beating Ukraine right now. I know, problematic, but we're at it. We're at it, smacking up Ukraine. We're getting involved. But no, I'm just putting bad energy out in the world and watch us now somehow slip up and then not qualify for this. Are these Euro qualifications or World Cup? I can't remember. Whichever one it is. Probably Euros qualifications, right? In Germany. Yes, Dysenhagen. That's not a word. Well, it might be. I might have just said something really offensive. But there's nothing to... Especially because, for whatever reason, and I think it's not real, players just don't give a fuck about international break. Because I think it's ridiculous or they just train them too hard or something. I don't know. Whenever there's like an international break, the players go, and then, like, they read out the team sheet, and then within like a day, 3 players got injured and went back to their club. And then a couple more days pass, another 3 players get injured and go back to their club. You play a game, so there's more injured. I reckon there's like something going on where it's like players pretend they're injured, they get to go back to the club to train more and prepare and stuff, and they go back. Because it's just ridiculous. I just don't believe it. Like, the ones who need to be there, like the Harry Kanes, they'll stay in that. Phil Foden going back, Sterling not even getting called up, and then Mount not going. Reece James coming back. He does have recurring injuries, but Luke Shaw. There's just so many people. I'm just like, everyone knows it's bullshit. We're like, let's just fuck this off and go back. I've just pulled my earlobe. Should go back, shall we? It's a bunch of nonsense league. But yeah, I think we're winning 2. I mean, I thought it said 2-0. I'm getting all arrogant here right now. It may have said 2-0 Ukraine. In which case, but I'm pretty sure it said. The thing is, we could lose 10-0 to Ukraine. Like, we was in the worst form we've ever been in a while in these games that don't matter recently. We was just like losing a bunch to like I can't remember what team, one of the Eastern European teams, Hungary lost 4-0, and then Croatia we were just like losing a bunch. And none of it really matters. We then go into a tournament. We did pretty well. We got to France. We got to was that a semi-final or was that a quarter-final? I think it was a quarter-final. With a chance to play... Who did France play in the semi? Don't remember. We would have probably lost to Argentina. Argentina were always going to win that final. I think it was written in the stars. Some things were just meant to happen. And you know what? Obviously, I wanted to win something in my life. That would be nice. A World Cup, especially that beautiful, beautiful trophy. But if we couldn't win, I always did say, if England don't win, it would be nice to see Messi lift up that World Cup. And he did. And I usually do land more Messi over on the debate of Messi v Ronaldo. And it's just nice the way it's going right now for one of them to be getting to have got like literally within the same 6 months. Ronaldo got knocked out. Messi went on to win it, and then Ronaldo went off to this Saudi Arabian league. Obviously, these last few like twilight years of their careers don't massively matter. But recency bias is big for people, and it's just funny, and you can wind people up. Ultimately, I don't really care. Messi is not my dad, and neither is Ronaldo. So, like, I'm not too invested, really. I just prefer Messi if I have to pick. But yeah, that is all. Jonathan Majors is out here. He's out here. He's out here. And football is footballing. This 94, I believe, which means... See, you're 95.
Here with the kids, and they had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like a hero.